Hey guys, welcome to the part 2 of Alpha 4.5 PTU testing. I have to be honest with you guys that if I was ever genuinely stressed out about making Star Citizen videos, tonight is the time. Looking at all the changelogs for this first 4.5 PTU Wave 1 patch, I don't even know where to start because I want to test everything in detail, leave no stones unturned, find out every single change and share it out with you. But the changes are just overwhelming. But thanks to my wife's wise words, I'm going to start with an overview of the important changes for this patch and then test everything out in the following videos. If you're asking me how many hours do I plan to sleep tonight, the answer is yes. Now let's go. First of all, this website, spviewer.eu, it's updated to the latest 4.5 PTU. Total changes will have 1,285. Vehicle changes will have 195 and item changes will have 1010 and also FPS gear changes will have 80. First, let's start with the most important, the vehicle changes. So vehicle changes is divided by ships, gravlab, and ground vehicles. So check the ships first. We have 163 changes. I don't quite know how many flyable ships that is in game. I think this ship change encompasses every single ship. So start with the ships. The new thing that's added for every single ship is this thing called durability. This will be the armor, and the health says here under durability will be the armor health, and that's something just added, as well as many damage multipliers added to the armor. So different armor will have different damage multiplier. You have physical damage multiplier, energy, distortion, thermal, biochemical, and even stun. Very interesting. We do not have any thermal, biochemical, nor stun weapons yet. But that's something, I think it's been here for a while. So eventually we will be adding these three types of damage. Right now we have physical damage, which are from the ballistic weapons, and energy damage from the laser weapons, and distortion damage from the distortion repeaters or cannons. Maybe some other weapon will also do distortion damage. Even with some FPS weapons, it will do distortion damage. Now, for the multiplier, if it is 1, then it is whatever damage from that weapon will be applied to the armor. So anything times 1 is itself. If the number is smaller than 1, for example 0.6, which means it will do less damage. 100 times 0.6 is 60. But if the damage is above 1, for example 1.3, which means the damage will increase when it hits the armor. You also have a hull damage here. For the hull, what's added are this penetration damage multiplier, which means whatever the penetration damage a weapon deal to, for example, the fuse or component, that penetration damage is time whatever number that is, 0.05. So the fuse will receive much less penetration damage, and the component will only receive 40% of the penetration damage from the weapon. So now let's make things simple. We're just gonna focus on the durability, which is the armor for the ship. So for all the Avengers, the armor health is 2000. Aegis Eclipse armor health 8000. Gladius armor health is 1880. Aegis Hammerhead, the armor health is 64,000. Aegis M, the armor is 2,880,000 hit points. And for all the ships, the physical damage multiplier as well as the energy damage multiplier, they're all the same. Physical 0.6, energy 1.3. Aegis P is the same. Armor health 2,880,000. Reclaimer, the armor health is 40,000. Redeemer 1,300. Retaliator 28,000. Saber 2,960. The Firebird 2,000. Peregrine, which is a racing ship, the armor is a little bit lower, 1,920. Saber Raven 2,000. For the Vanguard, it's a little different. The Harbinger armor is 8,000. Hoplite, the armor is 11,200. And the Sentinel is 8,000. Warden is 8,000. So for the Vanguard, only the Hoplite has a better hot durability, which is armor. Anvil Arrow, only 1,560. Asgard, 16,000. Pisces, 3,600. And Pisces Rescue and Pisces Expedition are the same, 3,600. Anvil Carrack, 56,000. Now, the armor for the Hornets are different. The F7A Hornet Mark 1, the military version, the armor is 2,200. F7A Hornet Mark 2, also 2,200. F7C Hornet Mark 1 is 2,120. But F7C Hornet Mark 2 is 2,200. F7C Hornet Mark 1 Wildfire is 2,100. But for the F7C Hornet Heart Seeker Mark 1, the armor is 2,320. But for the Heart Seeker Mark 2, the armor is 2,520. Super Hornet Mark 1 armor is 2,320. Super Hornet Mark 2 armor is 2,520. Tracker Mark 1, 2,120. Tracker Mark 2 is 2,280. Now, Ghost Mark 1 has the lowest armor, 2,040. Ghost Mark 2, 2,200. So each Hornet has different armor health. For the FAC Lightning, armor 7,360. Gladiator 4,400. Anvil Hawk 1,600. Hurricane 6,240. Paladin has 36,000 armor. Terrapin 16,000. Well, Terrapin is also quite tanky, same as the Terrapin Medic 16,000. Anvil Valkyrie has only 20,000 armor. Cartual 1,720. Santoki Eye 2,940. Argo Mo 36,000. The Mo has a pretty strong armor. For the MPUV cargo personnel as well as tractor, armor 2,000. They are the same. Argo Raft has a good armor, 32,574. Argo SRV 8,000. Banu Defender only 2,800. For the Mustang Alpha, Beta, and Delta, armor 1,520. But for the Mustang Gamma, the racing version, the armor is only 1,400. Nomad 3,840. For the A1 and C1 Spirits, 13,200. A2 Hercules 52,200. M2 Hercules 46,800. A little bit less than the A2. Now C2 Hercules even less, 36,000. Now, for the Inferno and Ion, armor 9,600. Intrepid, 2,640. MSR, armor 11,200. Buccaneer, 1,560. Drake Caterpillar, 48,000. Pretty good armor. Drake Clipper, only 4,800. Drake Corsair, 12,000. Colorless Black and Colorless Blue, 5,200. Colorless Red, 5,280. Colorless Steel, 7,520. So the Colorless Steel has a better armor than all the colorlesses. All the Cutter variant, armor 5,200. Both the Drake Golem and the Golem Ox, 1,880. Drake Herald, 1,680. Drake Vulture, 9,600. Blade, 1,720. Glaive, 4,000. Prowler, 10,000. And Prowler Utility, a little bit weaker, only 8,400. The Stinger has 10,000 armor. Talon, only 1,600. Same as the Talon Shrike. Same as the Sulan, 1,600. The Shiv has 4,000 armor. Wolf 21, armor 1,400. But the Wolf 22 has only 1,360 armor. A little bit less than the Wolf 21. Merlin, 640. Fury, 1,189. Fury LX, the racing versions, even less, only 1,102. Mirai Guardian, 5,680. The Guardian MX, a little bit stronger armor, 6,480. The QI is the same as the base Guardian, 5,680. Razor, an all Razor variant, armor is only 640. Misk Fortune, the armor is 12,160. Ooh, the Fortune, as a small ship, it has a pretty decent armor. Even the Freelancer, only 7,600. Freelancer DOR is even less, 4,960. And Freelancer Max, 7,600. But the Freelancer MIS, only 4,960. I thought the Freelancer MIS is the military version. It's supposed to have a stronger armor, right? But it's even less than the base Freelancer. The Hull A has 16,000 armor. As a small ship, that's pretty strong. Hull C, 48,000 armor. Prospector, 11,040. All the Reliant, 2,400. Starfarer, 25,200. And Starfarer Gemini, a little bit better, 26,400. Starlancer Max, 28,000. Starlancer Tech is better, 30,400. For all the Origin 100i series, 1,360. For all the Origin 300i series, except the 350R, the racing one, armor is 1,320. For the Origin 350R, the racing one, the armor is even less, only 960. 400i, 14,400. Both the 600i Exploration and the Touring, armor 36,000. 85X, only 1,280. And 890 Jump, 80,000. I was expecting it to have at least over 100,000, but only 80,000. M50 Interceptor, 640. The Apollo Medevac, the military version, 26,400. And the Apollo Triage, the civilian version, 24,000. A little bit less in the armor health. For all the Auroras, 1,552. And for all the constellations, every single one of them, 16,000. Mantis, 2,120. Meteor, 2,200. Perseus, 76,000. And Polaris, 10 times more than the Perseus, 734,400. Salvation, 1,920. Scorpius, 5,200. Same as the Scorpius and Teres. Zeus CL and ES, 12,000. And last ship, the Vandu Scythe, 3,200. Ooh, that's a lot. And that's every single ship and their armor amount. And now for the hoverbikes. The Nox, armor 160. Hoverquad 160. Dragonfly 80. Wow, Dragonfly has very little armor. And the Pulse 160. Origin X1 and X1 Force, only 80. Also the X1 Velocity, only 80. That's it. That's all the hoverbikes. Now ground vehicles. The Ballista, armor 480. Centurion same, 480. Spartan has no armor. Health is 0. Argo CSV, 160. Drake Mule, 80. MDC, 80. MTC, 80. PTV, 0. Rock, 80. STV, 80. Lynx, 240. Lynx has pretty decent armor. Ursa, 0. Ursa Medevac, 0. And the Cyclone, 240. Ooh, Cyclone has pretty decent armor as well. And all the Cyclones, same, 240. Tombro Nova, 1,600. And the Storm, 800. That's it. And now we're gonna check the items. And there are just too many details for all the items. So we're gonna check out the component first. Number one important change for the components are the health for the components. Power plant health decreased by 34%. This one decreased by 49%. And this one decreased by 50%. This one 35%. And this one by 12%. This one by 50%. So I have not seen any component health is increased. All the component health are decreased. Check the coolers. Health decreased by 36%. Oh, never mind. This one is different. This one is Bengal, the Bengal carrier. The health is increased to 280,000. Now for the shield generators, you can see the health. Actually, we need to look at the durability health here. The durability, the health is decreased by 15% for this one. And this one decreased by 51%. This one decreased by 62%. Now, if we check the FR66, the health is decreased by 51%. FR76, health decreased by 32%. And FR86, the Scythe 3, health decreased by 12%. So I have not seen any component health increased. All the components' health are decreased, whether it's shield, cooler, or power plant. Now, for the shield, not only that, if you look at the health right here, this is the health pool for the shield. The health pool is decreased significantly. That is the shield on your ship. So for all our ship shields, it's nerfed all over the board by 74%. If you scroll down, almost every single shield, the health pool is reduced by 74%. That's significant. This one, 74%. So all the shields that have checked, the health pool is reduced either 76% or 74%. Now this one reduced by 76%. Now this is the shield for the Polaris. The Polaris has over 1 million shield, but right now it's only 248,000 shields. So the combat will be changed completely because of the shield change. Not only this, now in my part 1 of the video, I've checked out the weapon change. Hardpoint weapons, we have 170 change. Now in my part 1 video, I talk about it in detail. So here I just briefly mention it. The ship weapon change are these. The number 1 most important change is every single weapon alpha damage has been decreased. Now this one is 85B ballistic Gatling gun. So the physical damage, impact damage is decreased. Oh, this is even worse, from 126 to 15 hit points. Now damage per second, the DPS has been decreased by 85%. That's crazy. So the damage for every single weapon, whether ballistics or laser, whether it's repeaters or cannon, even distortion cannons or repeaters, the damage has been significantly reduced. So that's number 1. Number 2 is for all the ballistic weapons, the ammo count has been increased. For most of the ballistic Gatling guns and the cannons on the Polaris as well as the Perseus, the ammo count has been increased significantly. For example, the AD5B, the ammo capacity increased from 1800 to over 5000. So that's number 2. Number 3 is the speed for different weapons has been, most of the weapons has been increased. For example, the AD5B increased from 9000 to 1450. That's really fast. And especially for laser repeaters and laser cannons. So those I have covered in the part 1 of the testing video. Number 4 are the ranges. All the weapon range has been changed, mostly reduced, especially the laser repeaters and laser cannons. Also the ballistic weapon. Look at the AD5B, the range is only 1 kilometer. That's it. And in general, the laser cannons have a better range than the laser repeaters for the same size. So that's the weapon change. And now for the bombs and missiles, something has been added. Here it says enable heat from false to true. I'm not exactly sure what this means. For all the missiles also, heat collector, enable heat, false to true. So I need your help to understand, what does this mean? Does it mean the missile has IR signature, but the missiles already have IR signature? Or does the missile add heat to the ship it hits so that the ship can catch on fire? So I'm not exactly sure what this means. Now, another thing that's added here is a missile rack or hardpoint weapons or components. So something has been added are these self-repair. The self-repair means the diagnostic repair. You can repair the ship once the component or the weapon goes to 0 health. You can do maximum 1-time repair. You can restore the health of a destroyed component or weapon to 20% health. After that, you cannot repair it anymore. With the diagnostic MFD, you have to bring the ship to a station to repair it. And then you will gain the 1-time maximum repair. But you can always repair with your repairing tool. One thing noteworthy is time to repair. If you're using the diagnostic repair, it will take time. For some components and weapons, it will take a long time. Sometimes goes to 4 minutes or 5 minutes for capital ships. So pay attention to that. Now, even the salvage head also added the self-repair timer. For this one, it takes 3 minutes to repair. We also have some ships, their maneuverability has been changed, but I will cover this in a different video. I'm gonna talk about that in detail, especially for the snuff fighters as well as the interceptors. Now, next category will be the FPS gear. We have 80 changes. So we have the personal weapon attachments. Many different stabilizers, new stabilizers, and holographic sights, also red dots and compensators has been added. And they might already be in the loot pool in the PTU. So that's very good. More varieties for the attachments for the personal weapons give us more incentive to do loots. Also, personal weapons, we have 49 changes. And these 49 changes are mostly about the ammunition penetration. Now, talk about the ammunition penetration. Let's go back to the ship weapons. All the ship weapons, the penetration value has been added. For example, the Omniski size 5. Base penetration distance, 10.5 meters. I guess this is the minimum penetration distance, but it doesn't seem to be right. Also, you have this near radius and far radius. This, yeah, I do need an explanation on how does these work. Now, penetration itself is easy to understand. The weapon penetrates through the hull of the ship and does component damage inside the ship. But as to what these values mean, I'm not exactly certain. So help me understand this. And now this is pretty much it for the most important changes for this patch. That's crazy amount, especially the ship armors. So a lot of talking in this video. In the next video, we're gonna test something in game. See you in the next one.